Happy today. I am William Brown from IamWilliamBrown.com. This is Disconnect to Connect, one word conversations. You know how there's those times where you're like, talking with your friends and just kind of in the conversation, and you realize, oh, I got something to do, right? That's where I was just a moment before the show, and I realized that there was some time. So I really appreciate you being here. This show is brought to you by IamWilliamBrown.com, a place where you can be yourself and live your life. One ways that I let you know what's available on IamWilliamBrown.com is to spotlight our U cards. The U cards are intention setting cards and also a game. So I invite you to go to I Am William Brown to get your cards. So as it is my birthday, right? And I set the intention for it today. My I Am card is I am full of grace. My You Are card is You Are kind. And my quote card for this conversation is be you, the world will adjust. So with that in mind, I will introduce the word of today. And the word of today is celebrate. And it's really kind of not just because it's my birthday, which it is. But I think if this was a later show and like an evening show, this would be a drinking game, because I think I'm going to say it's my birthday like over and over, and they're like people would be drunk by the end of the day, right? So I will try not to continue say it's my birthday, but it's my birthday, and we are going to celebrate with my friend, and so we will have a conversation. Good morning.
Good morning and happy birthday.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you very much. I hear in my head, I don't hear Stevie Wonder singing that song anymore. It's just you and Brian, right? It's like every time I hear that song, that's all I hear right now. So I don't know if you need to get
birthday to ya.
If you need to get royalty checks or something. So this is the opportunity where I ask my guests to introduce themselves however it feels comfortable to them.
Absolutely. I am Lisa Santiago McNeill. I am the coach's coach, and I work with amazing heart-centered coaches to help them, once they navigate the space from their head to their heart and realize what they want to share with the world, then I help them to share it through publishing, podcasting, video, public speaking. Just get your voice out there so that you can heal the world. Exactly.
And so, I'm one of your problem children, right? So when I look at this show and other things that are showing up in the world for me, it's like you can take the credit and the blame, right? for all of this. So there is a method to this madness here. So as I do, I ask, how does the word celebrate land for you?
It's one of the most important words, especially for our ladies' nights on Friday nights. And whenever I'm with a group of women, actually, even when I meet a woman for the first time, particularly, the question is, what can I celebrate you for this week? And I say that specifically with women, although there are a few men that also have not experienced the opportunity of being celebrated, and it's just so important. I actually saw it live speed at an event, and I want to say it was a Les Brown event. And they pulled this woman out of the audience and took her away so that she wouldn't hear what the conversation was. I think they took her backstage, put headphones on or something. And then the crowd was instructed that when we bring her on the stage, that I want you guys to applaud like crazy and celebrate her like she's,
Right.
I don't know, the most important person in the world. And when I witnessed that moment, when she came up on the stage, when he
Mhm.
brought her out, and then he told us, all right, she comes out and went, yay. And she gets taken aback first. She
Right.
gets uncomfortable for a second, and then she emerged.
Right.
And it was remarkable. And it made me realize how few times in our lives we actually get celebrated. You
Hmm.
know, we get the birthday celebration, right? That's
Right.
once a year if you're lucky.
Right.
Um, and then aside from that, you get some accolades at work. Great job, Bill. Good job,
Right.
right? Um, you might get a testimony here and there from someone, but someone actually saying, oh my goodness, I need you to understand that this moment is just for you. And
Right.
you are amazing at whatever that thing is. That's a that's a life-changing moment, even if it's just a moment. It's
Right.
awesome.
Yeah. No, I get that. I was at an event. I was trying to remember what event that I was at where they did something similar to that, and it was just like you said. There was like this like shock, and it's like trying to reject it, and then it's like, all right, let's we going with it now, right? We're in it.
Yes,
And
yes,
how quickly we know that wave, right?
yes.
Just kind of take it
Mhm.
in. Just take it in.
Yes.
The one reason that I believe that this conversation, I guess, needed to happen, with you and with this word is because, there's a lot of things going on in my life. There's a lot of things that I've become aware of and that I'm stepping into. Um, but celebrating that has always been a difficult thing for me. And really, it's at one point it was like, I don't want to put too much shine on myself. I don't want to get in pride. I don't want all the things that how people see me, right? I want to enjoy this, but I don't want people to see me enjoying it, right? Right, type of thing. I don't know what that's all about, but
I
but
can tell
it
you
is
what it's all about. Actually, you're not the only person that feels it. And I've had the honor of helping quite a few amazing folks in the past month or so with this very thing. It is an overlearned behavior that was mislearned in the first place.
hmm,
So overlearned and mislearned. So first of all, it wasn't right in the first place. And
right,
then overlearned means that we personified it. Like it has become the thing, right?
right,
Um, and a lot of it comes from an upbringing standpoint. Even could be somewhat aligned with a spiritual perspective, specifically pride. The
hmm,
pride thing is one that the the spiritual perspective made sure that they beat that out of us in the beginning a lot of
right,
times. And even that was a misteaching, right? The apostle Paul said, don't think more highly of yourself than you ought.
hmm,
And a couple of things should stick out for that. Paul was prideful as hell.
right,
So that might have been his necessary lesson, right? So
right, wow,
sometimes we run off to teach people stuff that God taught to us for us, and we go make it the law
right,
for everybody. That
right,
wasn't the
wow,
case, right? Bill has
wow,
never, in all the time that I've known him, had a problem with pride. I've got to drag him to the front of the room. I've got to remind him of all his accolades. You've done this, 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 and this, and this. And he's giving me no, 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 no. And understand that in and of itself could be keeping us sometimes from the next opportunity to celebrate.
Right.
Because the
Wow.
universe will bring you what you want more of. If you don't
Right.
want more opportunities to celebrate, oh, I got you. You
Right.
don't need them, right?
It's kind of it's what you were saying, the story that you were saying about that young lady, of, at first we're shocked, there's like, then we try to reject it. I've stopped there, right? Not me, right? And then we're like in it. So I think I'm at the stage that I just own it. Just own it.
Yes.
This is what I'm doing. And I think that's why I'm saying it's my birthday. It's my birthday. I'm
It's
like
your
reminding
birthday.
myself. I'm trying to remind myself, celebrate. It's a wonderful thing to celebrate that you're alive, mister. Do it,
Yes,
tell, all that other kind of stuff.
absolutely. So
Wow.
Tony, oh my God, it just left me. You know who I'm talking about anyway, the giant within. Tony Robbins.
Oh,
Tony
okay. Tony
Robbins,
Robbins, right.
he taught that when we enter a room, or when you open the doors to a building, or when you walk in as if you've arrived.
Right.
Now, I entered the supermarket that way. When it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I'm getting onto a school bus. I've arrived. I'm Lisa Santiago. How are
Right.
you? I'm fine. I'm fine. Thank you. I'm fine. Right? But it is about creating a presence that
Right.
you have a right to be there. And it
Right.
gives people permission to notice you.
Right. Wow. Ah,
I love that concept. In my mind, my theme song is playing. They're throwing rose petals down. All these
right.
things are happening. That's right, Ja. You've arrived. That's right. You
Right. I
guys
know.
arrived. You get to
Wow.
celebrate in that moment. It's your birthday. You've made it this many revolutions around the sun. You've accomplished great things. Even particularly this year, you've accomplished great things. You've got books, you've got cards, you've got journals, you've got a podcast. You're about to have your 100th episode in 3 days, and you're on a syndicated channel. You made DTM. Come on, let's
Right.
celebrate you.
And I'm still acting like, oh no, no, not me. Right.
No,
It's like,
I need you to lean into it and let that sun shine on your face. You earned it.
right. It's kind of, I don't know about you, but sometimes, I'm like getting sick of myself. It's like, really, just take it, right? Stop acting like you don't like that, right? Or, it's like, so it's just like, yeah. So I'm really, oh, it's like I can't even say it. I'm really embracing that, right? It's like I was like,
Bill,
I'm embracing that.
absolutely. But so often we've been taught not to celebrate ourselves. Again, we've been
Right,
taught it's prideful. We've been taught all those things. And the truth of the matter is, you deserve to celebrate. I'm not asking you to celebrate some narcissistic, uh, unattained actual uh, entity. I'm asking you to celebrate these milestones that you have actually accomplished.
right,
And you
wow,
deserve that.
right.
Why? Well, I don't want to turn this into I was about to say, why do you feel that is? But I don't want to
Right.
turn this into a private session.
Right. Look, the one thing that I made a commitment to within this show is that because I'm inviting people to have a conversation with me in public. So I says, okay, since I'm asking people to share and be with me on public, I need to be open to whatever questions come up. So if you feel that there is a question that you want to ask, I am open to allow um, myself to answer that or be with it. So I don't want to restrict you by any means. I opened this up. So yeah, go with it.
Well, the question often I would encourage ourselves to examine, whether you choose to examine it for yourself or not, but those that are watching, is when is the first time that you remember either becoming uncomfortable with the emotion that we're talking about right now or admonished for it? It could be either one of those times, whether you internally just felt uncomfortable with it or you
Right.
were admonished for it, sort of like, sit down, go sit down somewhere. Or, you know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Is
I
there that moment?
Yeah, um my wife says this is a sad story, but but no, the one thing that I can remember, because it's around my birthday, and the reason why, and because I know I made it a story, okay, and I'm not gonna give you the backstory, but I will just say it. My birthday is in the summer, and so I was in a single parent home, right? I had three other siblings. Their birthday wasn't in the summer. But every time we would have a party on my birthday, everybody's name was on my cake. Um, and because, I get now as a parent that, hey, this is a time where I can do something big for all my kids and all that and all together. But for me, there was one time, little Willie said, what the hell are these people's name on my cake, right? And I was told to sit down and shut up. Mind you, it's my birthday, right? And so I got that. What? I'm not gonna have a cake with just my name. So I just need to like sit down, shut up, and just kind of get what I get.
Yeah.
And that's how I relate to my birthday. That's how I basically stand up for myself. That's how I, kind of do that. And it's really, um, caused me to just kind of step away from the cake, and just kind of get what you get. And that's fine.
Well, if I can first extend to you love and light, I want to send you love and light
Okay.
because I feel that moment in you, and I feel the sadness in that moment, and I'm so sorry that you had to have that moment. What age were you at that time?
6.
Mhm. This is a really difficult thing to handle at 6. That your birthday didn't warrant and didn't merit an individual cake. And I'm sorry to 6-year-old Willie that he had to experience that. I'm going to ask him to lean in to Bill and let Bill hug him right now and whisper happy birthday to him. Yeah,
Happy birthday.
Bill, that moment is one that as an adult now, you can unpack. You have the skills and ability to unpack it. But I do not want to first allow you to comfort, nurture, and console 6-year-old Bill because his response was appropriate. His response was within the best of his ability. He didn't know how to handle it. He didn't know how to say, what the hell are y'all talking about? This is my birthday. He didn't know how to say, no, I don't care what this is. This is my birthday. He just knew he had to get somewhere and sit down before he got his behind whooped. And so we're grateful that he did that so that you didn't have to get a whooping. But that was the extent of his ability to handle that particular situation. And now adult Bill, still respecting the experience of 6-year-old Bill, gets to unpack and unlearn some of those experiences, some of the things that experience taught him. Because there were some things in there that it sounds to me you've internalized that had nothing to do with you.
Right. Got it.
You were 6. You didn't know. Your mom was trying to do the best that she could do with what she had. That didn't change that moment for you. So please hear, I want you to continue to hear 6-year-old Bill is completely validated in his understanding. But what he learned, he overlearned, and now it's impacting the way that grown-up Bill is getting to show up in the world. And so we've got to deprogram, deconstruct, and reprogram the way that information is processed so that you can enter into the birthday, so that you can enter into the palladium, so that you can enter into the award ceremony, so that you can enter into every opportunity that you have worked so hard for and receive it in the way that you deserve.
Right. Wow. Wow. No, thank you. I get that.
I want you to get it. I don't want to get it too much more on this broadcast, and I know that you said we could, but I think that there's some really private and personal moments that I encourage you to explore, if not with me, with someone, so that we can help you to navigate to the fullness of your greatness.
Right. I really appreciate this and that and everything that's happening right now. And I think, I think I mentioned, I can't remember if I said it before the show or after before the show or during the show. I don't even know where I am right now. But that I was going to take the day off. I was going to, say, hey, I'm celebrating my birthday and I'm not going to do a show today and everything like that because of that overlearning, right? And because I have a schedule that you can schedule yourself, you randomly scheduled my birthday before I was able to block it off. And as soon as I saw that you were on the day, I was like, oh, hell, I can't cancel this. Right? And then the next thing I got was the word is celebrate. And I was like, that's going to be fun. And so this is what needed to happen. And this is, and so if, there's a lot of things that my wife have planned and there's a lot of love and hugs, virtually and socially distanced, things that are happening today. But in order for me, I believe, in order for me to receive all of that, I needed to have this conversation.
Amen.
And so thank you.
You are very welcome. It's a gift to myself. You just gave me a gift to be able to operate in what God has called me to do is a gift. It's a special gift and I'm grateful for it. I get to celebrate you again.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. It's that there's a part, because I was like, well, why, why is this? And I get it. I know why. I overlearned. I kind of made this mean something. And I thought, because I departmentalize a lot of things and I'm unpacking that, for myself, I thought that was just around my birthday. Right.
Yeah.
But it had basically taken over my life. It has been a conversation that was happening in a lot of areas. And especially
your compartment.
Right. And especially I need to call a plumber or something. I don't know. Not sure.
Yes.
But it was something that I didn't realize that moment now shows up um, with how I show up, not just my
Absolutely.
birthday, right?
Absolutely.
So it took me being coached to show up to kind of be aware that this is another thing that's been there. It's not that you've been afraid of showing up, you
Mm-mm.
know. It has been you have been conditioned to not
That's
show up.
it. That's
Right.
what limiting beliefs can
Right.
do. That's what limiting beliefs, mislearned information,
Right.
it will actually compound itself on your personal energy in such a way that it shows up in a way that doesn't even align itself with your person.
Right.
It's not even yours, and that's what these that there's so many different names of stuff, and I sometimes I hesitate to use names because then people who have issues with certain words get hung up
Right.
on the word and they block it out. Like if I were to say
Right.
that's what these are spirits, then somebody's like, oh, here she goes, she's gonna talk about the
Right.
spirit, and she's gonna
Right.
pass out, right?
Right.
But
Right.
I say it's energy and say, oh, she's woo woo. So either she's Jesus or she's fairies or whatever. I don't want to hear it. But what it is simply not yours, is what
Right.
it is. It was
Mm.
superimposed on you by an experience that was interpreted improperly because of your capacity at the time. And
Mm.
the people around you potentially may have been too distracted with life to say, wait a minute, baby, that's not it. That's
Right.
not what that really means. This had nothing to do with you. I mean, later on that night, maybe she didn't want to explain it in front of the whole family. I could only
Right.
afford one damn cake, eat the cake anime, right?
Right.
And then when you got home, she said, Bill, I wish I could have got you your own cake. Mom is doing the best that she can. She wishes
Right.
she had cake in Christmas and and New Year's and everybody's individual birthdays, but this was the chance to do it. Please know I don't love you any less. And you are
Right.
still as important. But mom was probably tired
Right.
of dealing with
Hmm.
the kids and everything else all day, and she had to get up to work the next day. So she couldn't break all of this down. And we take this information in our 6-year-old minds and we take
Right.
notes on it and we figure it out. And then we now the 6-year-old is the advisor
Right.
to your
Right.
20-year-old, to your 30-year-old, to your
Right.
40-year-old, to your 50-year-old. Your
Right.
advisory board is made up of a 6-year-old interpretation of what happens in life.
Wow. I was like, oh, that's so ridiculous, right? I see this little kid like, hey, yeah, this is what we're doing. What?
Exactly. If we deconstruct it that way,
Right.
then we see the absurdity in it.
Right. Right. Wow. It's like two things. I'm just laughing about the 6-year-old on my advisory board.
That's
just,
he's the
you
president
know,
of your advisory board.
right. And but the other thing that in some cases that I was giving myself credit that I didn't blame my mom, right? That I had no animosity with her. I gave her the grace, that I love my mom. I kind of get it, but I still held it on to myself. That advisor kind of said, "Hey, this is how we respond to this. This is what it means about you. This is what all that other kind of
Mhm.
stuff."
Yeah.
um, and can go from there. And I think the other thing that you were saying about the words, and I love that you said it anyway, right? But it's that's what one word conversations is all about, is how that in one word we can connect or disconnect,
Disconnect.
and our
Absolutely.
and our in our communication. And it's like the more that we're able to say, hey, I'm going to use spirit right now, but this is what it means to me. This
Right.
is how I'm using it. And that's what I appreciate about your communication is that, hey, this is the word that's coming to me. This may be a word that you don't use or don't understand or have some baggage to, but I'm going to use it anyway because this will help me explain it. And I think that clarity of understanding and communication that I think that is needed now causes us to show up into our advisory, right? To show up in our life, in our relationship. And so yeah, so that's, if there is one thing that I really wanted to get out of this show, is that the importance that we place on one words. We can say all the lovely words around it, but that one thing, right? It's like, Lisa, you said that one thing, and I can never
Yep.
forgive you, or all that
Yep.
other kind of stuff, or I can't
Or
listen.
you
And
got to
it's like,
throw everything else that they said away. You
right,
know, you,
and we miss that.
we
So
do.
so no, so I I perfectly get that and appreciate that. And Randy, I have to put this on the screen, that because it was perfect, because as soon as you said it, I saw this little kid, like, with the clipboard and just telling all these people what to do. And it's like, who let
Yes.
this kid in here, right? right,
Yes.
right, right,
But he's in charge.
right,
And the
and
only
it's
reason why
like,
he's in charge is because he was there first.
right,
And what if
right,
that was the way
wow,
that life really worked, right? We
right,
wouldn't stand
wow,
for that.
right,
We
wow,
wouldn't stand for that. So we get to embrace him for who and what he is, accept what his limitations are, and extract the lessons. Understand there were some good lessons that your 6-year-old Willie taught you. He taught
right,
you how to ride a bike. That's great. He's great
right,
at that, right? He taught you not to touch a hot stove. That was fantastic.
right,
But he
right,
cannot teach you what he does not understand.
right, wow. Yeah, he the big wheel. I was mean on the big wheel, right?
There you
So
go. Evil
I,
Knievel.
I could just he's out there. Yeah, I don't. I had many scrapes and bruises because of what Willie said that we could do on that
Yeah.
big wheel. Right? It's
Well, he
like,
also taught you to be resilient because you have to
right,
fall a lot of times, right? So I
right,
want to make sure that we still celebrate Willie
right,
for all
right,
of the great accomplishments, but
right,
that we help him to remember that he don't know everything.
right,
He doesn't know it. He didn't know everything. He didn't learn everything then. And we gotta,
right,
it keeps ringing in my head. It's above me now. You remember the
right,
guy, the situation where the lady couldn't get a hotel room, and she had already, she had done. I can't even remember the story now, but the meme that came out of it is it's above me now. Um, Good gracious, what was the situation? A
yeah,
woman came to a hotel and she racially accosted the people at the front desk and then left and couldn't get a hotel room anywhere else and then came back like she was
right,
going to get a room there. And the
right.
reception guy was just real calm and cool. It's above me now. I'd give you a
Right.
room if I could, but it's above me
But
now.
yeah, right, yeah,
And
that's great.
6-year-old Willie needs to understand when it's above him, when it's beyond his scope. And then he can go
Right,
get crayons, get a big wheel, do whatever, and leave
right,
this
right,
discernment, this discernment to someone who has a better understanding of what should be appropriate.
right. Wow. There
Even
is,
understanding further, Bill, if I could,
okay.
that what's appropriate is one of those compound lessons.
Hmm.
It's not learned one time. What's appropriate is tweaked along the way, right? We learned the
Hmm.
magic words when we were 5 or 6, please and thank you, right?
Right,
And then we learned how to appreciate people when we meet them, and to edify them. That's probably 20, 25. And all of those things compound upon each other so that we could build relationships. You couldn't
Right.
learn that exclusively from your 6-year-old advisor.
Right. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
No,
it. My husband says she called him the N word, and then he wouldn't rent to her anymore. And his statement was, "It's above me now." And
right. Right.
and that just needs to be it. It's above you. When every time Willie tries to come and tell you, you can't have your own cake. What are you talking about? Your own cake. Mom told us to sit down. Trying to get a
Right.
whooping. You can
Right.
turn to him and say, "Ain't nobody whooping me. I'm a grown ass man."
Right. Right. Great. Oh, that's great. I'm gonna have some cake today, right?
Yes, yes. Delila put his name on the cake, baby. I
No,
love it. I
that
love
is
it.
great. The one thing that I'm getting from this is that, and I just really get how many 6-year-old advisors got kicked out today because of this conversation.
Hey,
you
we
know,
can
you
celebrate
know,
that.
right? How many people can now celebrate on the level of and that they are right now because they got rid of that 6-year-old advisor, or
Glory to
gave
God.
them something else to do, right? And so really thank you, for that, and going there. And oh boy, I just really, there's this lightness that has come over me, that I just really, the one of my words for today was, I'm full of grace.
Yes.
And it's like grace starts with, yourself, right? Extending yourself grace. It's like
Oh my
grace for grace, as it says in the scriptures. And
God.
it's like I wasn't giving myself grace, right? In this area. And so I wasn't able to really celebrate, you know, myself, my life, my voice, all of these things, because I wasn't extending grace to myself.
Amen.
Um, and so yeah, so it is something. And be you, the world will adjust. I'll be good. So anybody that has a problem with my name on a cake, right? Deal
That's
with
your
it, right?
time. Have it on
you
there.
know,
Have the whole cake covered with your name over and
right?
over and over again.
It's me, because I got so many names. I got Willie, Will, Billy, Bill, William. Got there's nothing else on there. Right? I got all all the things on there. But it is, yeah, there's this joy that I didn't have access to today. It wasn't a melancholy. It wasn't that it's like, oh, woe is me, it's my birthday. But it was just like, it was that Willie reserved, I ain't gonna get in trouble today, right? Like, we're not gonna say, we're right, and it's like, now it's like, hey, this is what we're doing. I don't know if I will adopt my wife's, um my birthday month. But at least I'm going to do a week, right? So it's like the rest of the week, we
Yeah.
we celebrating all week, right?
That is
and
awesome.
and
That is
and
awesome.
so even when really putting together this week, I mean, it was great that my birthday was at the beginning of the week, and of the 100 episodes, because it really caused me to say, okay, there are some things happening this week. Are you going to acknowledge that or not? Right. And
Yeah.
because I was like, and so it was, when I was putting together the marketing piece, and I was like, okay, we celebrating all week. All right, let's see how that, I mean, it's like, because the advisor was still there, right? He was
Yeah.
like, Really? You gonna do that? Is
First
that
you
what we
want to
doing
make
now?
my cake, now you're gonna be celebrating all week. What's the world coming to?
Right, and it's like so it was just really interesting. So it was like because I did that, because I really um basically didn't listen to my advisor. It's like it's just so funny. And I put that out. I was able to really experience this, and so this is going to be an amazing week, an amazing day, amazing life. I
Mm.
have just owned that this is my life. Your life is worth celebrating, and just kind of do that. So. Well, I think we can talk about this for hours, but I I know that I got some celebration to do, right? Right. But is there any? I mean, you gave so much. You're so generous. Is there anything that you want to leave everybody with?
Quite honestly, I believe that there are so many people who are operating under their abilities because they have mislearned,
Hmm.
overlearned, or improperly learned something that's holding them back. And
Hmm.
if we can just get them connected to the right resources, whether it's you or any of the other coaches that I work with, to help them to have that liberating experience so that this world can really get on track. I just believe that if everybody were operating in the fullness of their abilities, wow, we would be in an amazing place. And so
Wow.
I actually invite that conversation. I may not be the one to take you on the whole journey because I primarily work with coaches that have already uncovered some elements of their journey and are now ready to play bigger. But if you believe that I can help you to navigate this space that is somehow blocked between your head and your heart, reach out to me.
Hmm.
My website is on the screen. You can schedule a session. We can just talk for a moment and make an assessment as to whether or not I'm the right person to work with you or one of my amazing coaches in my network. And we will definitely have a conversation.
Well, I think thank you very much, and I'm sure people will be reaching out to you. I think you've illustrated why coaches have coaches, right? Because even in my actionable awareness of myself, that I can help other people, but I need to be reminded, right?
And it's not a
Of
one-time
and
thing.
right, how I can help myself, right? Right,
I
and
have coaches.
right, right.
Everybody needs coaches.
And so it's what is coming up for me. It came up in the conversation yesterday of lovable, that my word for the year was remember, or is remember, because we're still in this year. It seems like it just we lost some months and kind of all that other kind of stuff, but it's to remember, and it was remember myself, put myself back together, remember, put myself
Mm,
back together. And I
right.
think just this conversation and letting me remember, um, the moment of my birthday, the moment of the advisor took his seat. Um,
Mm,
Now that I can, you know, give him another job, and and celebrate. Thank you, my friend.
my pleasure.
Every time, as I said before, how I show up, you can take the credit and the blame, right? If I shine too brightly, you saw Lisa's website, you can contact her, right? and go from there. We will say our goodbyes in the green room, but this has been great. And
Thank you
thank you,
so
my
much
friend.
for having me.
No, I am. You know what? I couldn't have picked it better myself. So I'll talk to you soon. Oh wow! It's like with all of that, I'm going to try to like close the show, and I think the question that is coming up for me is like, who's advising your life, right? Who is and then how old are they, right? And it's like, if they're under your age, give them another job, right? So, but what areas in your life do you need to celebrate, and do you celebrate your life? I really hope that this conversation, in some cases, my coaching session, has added value to your life. I invite you. I don't know if you're in need of a coach right now, but if you are, I invite you to contact me at iamwilliambrown.com and schedule a coaching time, and we will see how you can be yourself and to live your life, because the world wants you. The world is waiting for you. And I screwed that up. I screwed up my ending, right? But yeah, because I'm all over the place. So what I will say again: the world wants you, the world needs you, and the world is waiting for you. So go be you. Uh, I'm going to be celebrating. I think I'm already celebrating right now. It's some kind. It's like I think the 6-year-old is like fighting. He kind of still wants his job, so we have to we have to have a meeting, right? But thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. Celebrate your life and celebrate your day, because I love you.